Everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going!
Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Today I am working with another one of the page kits I put together to use this summer. This one is made up of a couple of papers from Cocoa Vanilla, totally rad, and I only had purchased a couple of papers for this, knowing it wasn't themed at all and I wasn't planning on necessarily using it for a theme, so I knew I'd be able to find enough generic embellishments in my stash to work with it. So I put these two pieces of paper together along with some enamel hearts and enamel dots, some flair, some acrylic pieces, some wood buttons, and some wood veneer. So I am going to be scrap lifting for this particular layout. I am not going to, however, show you the original because I do not have permission. It wasn't posted on Pinterest. It's a friend of mine's layout. So I am not going to show that to you, but I just didn't want you to think I'm working from an original design. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys put on fast forward. Xanthi is contemplating coming up and joining us for supervisory detail. So if the camera starts to shake or anything, that would be the reason why. All right, folks, let's get going.
Hey everyone, so this is actually a really simple layout. I actually didn't even edit anything out because my title is really short. Everything kind of came together. As I said, I'm following another layout. I'm scrap lifting this. So I'm just checking what's on the B sides of these papers. I know I want to use the wood grain. I'm obsessed with wood grain lately. I've been working with it a ton. And what I'm doing now is I've got this orange piece of paper. Orange, not a color I work with all that often, which is why I do have a ton of orange in my stash, simply because I don't use it. So if there's anything where it's got multiple colors, the orange is almost always left over. So what I'm basically doing is trimming out that circle portion of that piece of paper enough that I'll be able to use it on about half of the paper. But what I'm thinking is that in the layout I am scrap lifting, there is a strip of paper going down the right hand side. Now, I'm not going to be able to do a full strip of paper because I cut this incorrectly. I should have tried to cut more out of it, the wood grain paper, because my plan is to use the back side, which has these gray, and the gray, it's not a solid gray, it's like a newsprint gray. Unfortunately, I did not cut enough out of it, and at this point there wasn't any point in going back because there wasn't a big enough piece to cut out. So I'm making do. So what I decide to do instead, once I mat the photo, and I actually mat it correctly, not too close to the edge, what I'm going to do is trim 3 pieces of paper. So rather than one continuous strip, I just kind of have them not super messy, but slightly messily lined up along the right hand side. So now I'm going back and I'm adding glue to the back of this, and I'm just using that gray square that's 12 by 12 inches on my mat to make sure I am having a 12 by 12 layout. Now, I would have liked to use the back of the other side of the paper, orange, backside of the other orange piece of paper, wowzers, except that it's that light aqua blue and it does not match the orange or the wood grain whatsoever. It totally clashed. It would have been fine with the gray stars, but I really wanted the wood grain. My nephew is wearing an orange and red shirt. He's got khaki shorts on. He's standing in front of a wood door. It just made far more sense to use the orange and the warm wood grain background piece than it did, even though the stripes and the stars are great papers as well. It just made more sense to use these. As I said, I don't have a ton of orange. It's probably why I've never actually scrapbooked this picture, because I just don't have a ton of orange and, it didn't make sense. So I am, as I said before, I'm getting that gray star paper down over on the right hand side. And now basically what I'm going to be doing is creating 3 clusters with all of the embellishments that I pulled to be as part of this page kit. As I said, it's a very simple layout. I've got a 1-word title. I don't even, usually I would cut away from my my title work just because it's pretty boring watching me place letters down, but my title is short, so it didn't seem any reason to do that. So I'm getting my photo down basically in the center, and I was super chuffed to find that orange flare piece because it mimics the orange of the pattern paper, and it also pulls the orange, even though it's not exactly the same shade. It does pull that orange over to the right hand side. So I pull out these large cork alphas, and that is the Stylist font by Maggie Holmes. It came out with a Maggie Holmes line. I don't remember which. And now I'm just adding a bunch of my embellishments. I have this sticker, and that came out with Webster's Pages. And then I have a bunch of these camera wood veneers, and those are from Studio Calico. I also have these wood buttons with epoxy centers, and I got in a hip kit grab bag, and they didn't necessarily come with a specific line, so I just have them in a little container that just has general embellishments in it. And so I went ahead and grabbed those for this layout because I thought that once again they had some orange and pink and yellow and it would go quite well. I have some word stickers also from the Webster's Pages cardstock sticker set. Now those came in like a little planner kit that they had at Joann's, and I bought them on clearance, and they came with tiny tile alphas and then word and phrase stickers as well. And then I am also adding some enamel hearts from Bella Boulevard and some enamel dots. And those are just some generic ones I got on Peachy Cheap sometime at some point. All right, so my layout happens to be about my nephew's love of the Hawaiian shirt. He has always loved them. He loves them to this day. He would wear them far more often than is appropriate if he were allowed to, but he had to wear a uniform to school from 6th grade to graduation, so he did not get to wear them all that often. I have these enamel dots, as I said, and I'm just scattering them all over the place. I'm really going for a very organic look. I didn't want anything too straightforward. I've got that circle and then the square, and so obviously that's very regimented, and so I wanted my embellishment clusters to kind of just go a little bit everywhere. I'm finishing off this layout with some sunset strip shimmers, mists, misting. Oh my goodness, words are hard. They really are. And then realized I had not done my journaling talking about my nephew's love of the Hawaiian shirt. So I am just writing that below the title in that little embellishment area there. And that is going to finish off my layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. I really do appreciate all the watching of the videos that you do. All right, folks, have a great day. Bye.